U.S. judge rules in Tinubu's favor over release of his record by FBI and CIA. Okay, so this I know that last week Tinubu's lawyer filed a suit against the request made by Greenspan, the owner of Plainsight, for the urgent release, expedited release of the record, FBI and CIA records for of Tinubu that is in their database. Okay, already the FBI and the CIA have agreed that they will release those records by the end of this month, October. But this Aaron Greenspan of the Plainsight, who is an independent body that seeks for transparency in governance, actually filed a request for expedited release. But now that request has been declined, so we know. But I don't think that that is stopping the release of the document anyway. It's just denying the expedited release of the document than saying that the request did not show adequate proof or adequate justification for it. So let's dive into the details and see what it is. Barry Howell said the transparency activist did not adequately justify his request for an urgent hearing on his motion for expedited release of the Nigerian leader's file. President Bola Tinubu received a temporary relief on Monday after a federal judge in the United States denied a request for an urgent release of the Nigerian leader's confidential record compiled by American law enforcement authorities. Aaron Greenspan's motion on October 20 urged Judge Beryl Howell to quickly order the Federal Bureau of Investigation, State Department, and other U.S. bodies to immediately turn over records scheduled for release before the end of October. Plaintiff's emergency motion for a hearing to compel immediate document production is denied, while Ms. Howell of the United States District Court for the District of Columbia in Washington, D.C. ruled on Monday night, no hearing to determine the merits of this motion is necessary. So Mr. Greenspan, a transparency activist running Plainsight, filed the emergency request after Mr. Tinubu suddenly deployed lawyers to fight against the release, saying it would violate his privacy, among other statutory rights. Mr. Greenspan said Mr. Tinubu was trying to slow walk the release of the document, which the agencies had previously stipulated would be released in batches effective October ending, to foreclose any impact the disclosures may have on the ongoing election dispute at the Nigerian Supreme Court. 7 justices had earlier on Monday heard arguments from Mr. Tinubu's lawyers, as well as lawyers of Atiku Abubakar, the main presidential challenge. So Mr. Greenspan has followed political controversies in Nigeria since his website was besieged by Nigerians looking for information about the 1993 case that saw Mr. Tinubu forfeit $460,000 to the U.S. government after being caught laundering proceeds of narcotics trafficking in Chicago. So the records Mr. Greenspan seeks could potentially help provide clarity around Mr. Tinubu's real identity, especially the name under which he first traveled to the United States decades ago. The Nigerian president has been known to use clashing identities in the past. But Ms. Howell, in her decision, said Mr. Greenspan did not adequately justify his request for an urgent hearing on his motion for expedited release of records, especially against the need to protect Mr. Tinubu's interest. Plaintiff has not made any representation to the court that the balance of equities tips in his favor, or that the granting of his motion would further the public interest. Ms. Howell said, given that the Freedom of Information Act request is for records that, if any exist, may be of a highly sensitive and private nature, and that the subject of those documents, Bola A. Tinubu, has had no opportunity to protect his privacy interest in any such record, the balance of equities militates strongly in favor of denying this emergency motion. Oh boy. The judge also approved Mr. Tinubu's request to allow his lawyer, Christopher Carmichael, to appear in the case, although she has yet to rule on the president's motion to intervene in the matter. Earlier, the U.S. Department of Justice, represented by Matthew Graves, had said the government would not be taking any position as to whether Mr. Tinubu should join the case or not. So, on behalf of defendants, the undersigned counsel does not take a position as to whether the court should grant Bola Tinubu's motion to intervene or Mr. Graves said. So we have recently deactivated our website. Okay, so that is about the website releasing the news. So what is happening here is that, Aaron Greenspan's request to expedite the release of Tinubu's record by FBI and CIA has been declined. Okay, but that decline does not mean that FBI or that is not stopping the FBI and the CIA from releasing the document. It's just that the motion to expedite it is what has been declined, saying it's not fully justified. Okay, so that is where we are, and so a lot of people are already reacting to this comment. Somebody say, "What is this record that this man don't want us to know?" Okay, very suspicious indeed. Somebody say they mind the criminals. Sooner or later, the criminals will know themselves. Now, if all this controversy surrounding Tinubu, okay, the Nigerian president is a criminal and drug baron, which matters most be treated like any other citizen for the sake of transparency in the society. Exactly. So what this guy is trying to say is that with all these matters, controversy surrounding Tinubu, and if it's found that this guy, Tinubu, has committed all of these things that are putting on his neck, he should be prosecuted like any other citizen of Nigeria. Nobody's above the law. That is what he's trying to say. Some say if you don't have contradiction issues, why praying for that? The FBI and CIA should not be allowed to release this file to Atiku and Nigeria court. No, so this FBI CIA is not to Atiku. So let's correct it. It's actually for transparency purpose for the public consumption. That is what these records are for. Okay, someone said, but it's a confidential record, Abi. Nigeria. Someone said, there is no U.S. court that rules in his favor. You guys should stop posting nonsense lies here. Oh, so this guy is trying to say that this is a propaganda. A man of questionable character, full of uncertainties. If your record is clean, you shouldn't have been worried. Nigerians, now God will save you now from this man's hand. Tinubu brought so much shame and humiliation to Nigerians outside. Good luck to Nigeria and Nigerians. May God give us a president for this season. Amen. That is what this man is trying to say. Nothing is hiding under the sky. One day the truth will reveal itself by force, by fire. Maybe Tinubu Bible worm is extended to USA. No, those guys not the chop like that. They never chop anything. They're very, very objective in their decisions. Okay. Some of the United States and the superpower countries are fighting to fix corruption leaders or corrupt leaders so they can remain with their stealing of our resources. Okay. Okay. Another person here is saying, is our country safe? Are we at the mercy of certain people in Nigeria? No wonder the level of insecurity in the country is very, very high. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comment.